Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Simeon. Thank you for clicking on the video. Hobie Brown is one of the most instantly likeable and popular characters I've seen emerge on screen in a long while. Probably since...
Don't drink fountain water, you idiot. That's disgusting.
Yes, you did. I just saw you doing it. Why are you lying?
So, in this video, I wanted to quickly break down some of the things I think the writers did well to make this happen. Let's go. Number 1. Use an archetype. One way to make a likeable character, especially one who isn't a main character, is to give them an easy to understand personality that might fall into a trope. For example, Han Solo and Star-Lord are thieves with a heart of gold. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Merlin from the Disney version of Sword in the Stone are wise mentors. Generally, if you can sum up a character in a few words, you've done a good job at this. Now, Hobie is kind of a play on the thief with the heart of gold. He's a punk with a heart of gold. He's anti-authority and individualistic, but he still clearly cares about other people. His punk rock credibility is established straight away in his montage and the list of things he doesn't believe in, and we get a really clear sense of his character right away.
I hate the AM, I hate the PM, I hate labels. I'm not a hero, because calling yourself a hero makes you a self-apologizing narcissistic autocrat.
Number 2. Make them different. Everything about Hobie is unique, from his art style to the way he speaks.
Big stepper, yeah, mate.
What's this dude's name? It's English for we get along great and run close, friend.
To the way he views the world. He stands out from the other characters, and this creates interesting conversations and conflicts.
I thought you hated labels.
Wendy, you left a jumper around my place.
What's a jumper? It's a sweater. How many sweaters do you have?
Hobie's art style mirrors his character with a DIY cut-out punk rock aesthetic. He frequently jumps around, which contrasts with the smooth animation of the other characters. We often admire people with strong ideals who have the guts to go against the grain. By giving your character a different point of view and the conviction to be different, you may make them more likeable. Number 3. Give them layers. Once you've created a clear and easily summarised identity for your character, you can expand on that by giving them layers. Perhaps they do something that you might not immediately expect. A good example of this is Hobie being especially good with Peter B. Parker's baby. Perhaps they use the way others perceive them to their advantage. For example, there's a scene where Hobie and Miles are walking through a control room and Hobie is ripping equipment out of the consoles and placing them in his pockets. Miles assumes that Hobie is just mindlessly breaking things to be punk. Hobie doesn't correct his assumption, but we find out later that Hobie has built his own dimension-travelling device, probably using the tech he stole earlier. We then realise that Hobie might be a lot smarter and more strategic than he's letting on, which again makes him more likeable. Number 4. Use foreshadowing. Before Hobie even appears on screen, several characters mention him, piquing Miles' and our interest. This means that before Hobie is even on our screen, we're picking up clues about him. We get the impression that he might have a relationship with Gwen, which we know will be a source of conflict for Miles, making us look forward to the introduction of this character. A good example of this is the Emperor in Star Wars. He's mentioned several times before we ever meet him, adding to his importance and allowing the audience time to imagine what this character might be like, so that when he appears on screen, we're excited to find out more about him and what he might do. And number 5, make them funny. There's nothing more likeable than a bit of humour. If a character can genuinely make the audience smile and laugh, they're probably going to be popular. A lot of Hobie's humour comes from his contrast with the other characters.
And you... I'm just gonna try to ignore you. I just can't. I ain't even in.
Another thing that makes Hobie funny is his punk rock beliefs, which the writers frequently play with.
Not a joke, right gang? Absolutely completely on the music.
I don't believe in comedy. Just kidding.
Yet another thing I thought the writers did well was making Hobie cooler than Miles, which plays on Miles' jealousy and insecurity because he perceives Hobie as a rival for Gwen's affections.
How are you even cooler under your mask?
I was just cool the whole time.
How do you make a character cool? Well, it's hard to put your finger on, but I think in this case, it's a combination of Hobie's visual aesthetic. He's taller than Miles, he has piercings, cool clothes, he has a laid-back way of speaking and uses Cockney rhyming slang. And most of all, his attitude that he doesn't really care what anyone else thinks of him is in sharp contrast to Miles, who really wants to be liked and accepted by the Spider Society, which just makes Hobie cooler. Anyway, that's my quick breakdown of some of the things the writers of Across the Spider-Verse did well to make Hobie Brown such a likeable and popular character. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe and consider sharing it. Please let me know in the comments what you thought of Hobie Brown, if I missed anything the writers did well, and if you have any characters you think are especially well written that you'd like me to cover. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.